This is our final cut. Supernova Pictures is our production company. Sophie was able to make this on a free app on the App Store, and it makes it look more professional. A couple of days ago we added in the Hammer Horror logo, which is our distribution company, and that also makes it more professional if we put it before this, so it looks like it was made sort of properly.
Yeah, it's in the right order. Like we researched the common order of the title sequences, and so the distribution company was before the production company, so we added that in.
We never had a production name or company for the prelim, as it was only 30 seconds long and it wasn't really needed because it was just kind of basic.
Yeah, and
trying things out.
Yeah, we hadn't even thought of this like company name before. This is the first shot of Lizzie, and it's a close-up of her face. And as we were filming, I directed her to tuck a piece of hair behind her ear and turn around, as you can see there, which just makes her look more nervous, and that conveys the initial reaction of her walking to the location. So it shows that she's nervous about going there, and that and it also immediately shows that she's the main character for our thriller. And compared to the prelim, we had no close-ups of any characters' reactions, and as it wasn't it wasn't really needed. Well, I suppose it could have been.
Yeah,
I suppose we could have put close-ups in, but we just didn't really because we only used about 3 different cinematography shots in our prelim, and here we needed much more just to make it more interesting.
There was more directed acting in this as well. In the prelim, we just kind of did it. This is the start. Well, you saw the start of our title sequence, but this is the name of our thriller, and the shot of the candle we used throughout the beginning, and it's intercuts of the candles to show 2 different locations, to show the thrillers in 2 different locations, so the audience start to question what will be in that location and what will happen.
Yeah, and also we as well as candles, we used close-ups of mouse whispering. It gave it that overall creepy effect, and it made the audience question what was going on in the other location, because all they could see so far was mainly Lizzie walking somewhere, and the intercuts of the different faces.
Comparing this to our prelim, we didn't use any intercuts because it was all in one location. So
yeah, and we only had the splice editing software as well, so we probably didn't even know how to do intercuts with that editing software. So, and by doing the prelim, we learned that you could just easily move one clip in between a longer take and just split it in half and then put that small clip in as an intercut, and we learned to do that on iMovie, and so this is what we used in our final cut. Next we used a vertical pattern of Lizzie walking and another sideways mid-shot of her walking past the camera, followed by intercuts, and with these variety of shots, and again with a close-up of the footsteps, it follows on from what we were saying earlier about the variety of shots to make the walk-in seem more interesting, and again questioning her location because of the different angles.
Using a smartphone in our thriller contrasts with the old-fashioned horror scenario
of seance.
And it gives it a modern twist onto something that's quite old. So it sort of
compared to supernatural thrillers that we watched as research,
The Woman in Black and stuff, and Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, because most horrors are set in Victorian or
creepy houses.
Old creepy houses. By using smartphones, it just Lizzie said, it just gave it a modern twist. And again, there's another intercut of just blowing out the candles, which sends the next cut into a good transition because of the same level of darkness. And also our lighting overall was low key because we filmed at night, and again it kind of gives, because we did film in daytime, but then we decided that at night time it just created a overall creepy atmosphere.
Because it looked a bit rubbish if it was in daylight, to be honest.
Also, the horizontal pan of the house, as it shows a house and a home location, that kind of connotes a sense of safety. And but then this is later contrasted by the seance in the garden setting, because it shows that it's not actually, it's not safe for Lizzie's character. She's the victim, and but it gives that initial sense of safety. This pan is followed by another intercut, and also later there's a match cut of Lizzie pushing the door open, and we use a close-up of the hand again like we did in our prelim, and yeah, so we decided to use that again because we thought it just gave a more interesting look to it, rather than just her walking through a door with a match cut. But with the close-up of the hand, it just shows the action more clearly for the audience as well.
Here you can see Lizzie's costume, and it was quite a basic sort of type of outfit that a teenage girl would wear to make her look as innocent as possible, as if nothing was going to happen. So she's just wearing a green coat. You can't see the jumper, but it's like a purple jumper, some jeans and some boots to make it look as normal as possible.
Yeah, because we wanted to contrast that later with the the blood.
Yeah. And how I turn not innocent anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like with the beginning shot of Lizzie turning around, we kind of repeated that action of her looking and looking around just to make sure that no one was watching her, which kind of it gave that sense in a way that she was being watched and
or followed.
Yeah, or followed, which just gave that a kind of sinister feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is then followed by a point of view shot, which kind of suggests a sense of reality, because it puts the audience in Lizzie's shoes, and so that they feel like they're actually there. And also this aerial shot suggests Lizzie's innocence again, because it's a high angle. It looks like someone's watching her, and it kind of isolates her a bit as well. We used another horizontal pan here. We then used, here, we used a wider, a shot from further away, like a mid-shot, instead of the close-ups that you saw at the beginning within the intercuts, because this kind of suggests that, the joining of locations are getting closer, so it's kind of revealing the three characters more than the beginning, because at the beginning you could only see the girls' lips or the candles and stuff, but now you can fully see the scenario that's going on. And also this is followed by Lizzie putting her hood up, as it shows that she's joining the seance, as she's copying the other girls attire.
Who are sitting
there already like that. And also this shot here again reinforces the idea that they're now joined together, and Lizzie's joined the seance, and so now her character is a part of the story. The next shot we used is another close-up of Lizzie, and again this just shows her worried reaction that was previously shown in the first shot. So it just conveys to the audience Lizzie's reaction and worried feelings towards the girls.
In this bit, you can see we used high and low angle shots to show that the three other girls who are already in the seance are looking down at Lizzie, so they have more power and they're making her feel quite isolated and sort of alone, and then she's looking up to them as she feels they've got more power over her.
Yeah. And that was our favourite shot, as a group, and I think we all agree on that, because of just the effective look that it gave. It looked quite real without using any special effects afterwards or any post-production editing, and so we kind of did it mid-production, and again it just gave that overall effective look that Lizzie was actually being possessed.
Because before, when we filmed it, you couldn't actually see me being possessed, so I just kind of...
Yeah, and we wanted to make it obvious to the audience that that's what was happening, so later we could, this was the transition from her victim character to her slightly more evil and malicious character.
There, you can hear there was a sound effect of a phone going off. This like interrupts the tension that the music's creating, so the audience start to wonder, why has she got a text? What is that going to mean for the rest of the story?
Yeah, and also here we used a good continuity and like the match cut with the hood compared to our prelim, like where the continuity was pretty bad, and with the paper like in different places. We knew here that like with Hannah pulling her hood back, that it had to be, there had to be continuity there.
Had to be slick.
Yeah, with the match cuts, and also, yeah, just keeping that continuity.
Here's the close-up of the text that Lizzie sends, which then shows the audience that she might not be as innocent as they first thought she was.
Yeah, and this is then followed by the three girls' reaction to this, and as they pull down their hood, because with the hoods up they kind of look like more evil characters, but then when they pull their hoods down it kind of suggests, like something's gone wrong, they're not in like the seance-y, there's not the seance atmosphere anymore, something's changed. And again, this is followed by a over-the-shoulder shot where you can see Lizzie's character with the hood up looking at the phone, and this like just
it suggests to the audience that I've sent the text to...
Yeah. And again, that's followed by a close-up of the phone, which also suggests that, like Lizzie is the one that sent the text. And, the audience is just questioning why. And compared to our prelim as well, the amount of, like, detail into the storyline is like, there's loads more detail in this one. And, more plot twists, but just because we had more time, in the prelim, it could only be like 30 seconds long at least.
And we had a day, whereas we had months for this.
Yeah, like we kept refilming to get that continuity right as well.
Here you can hear the music. It starts to get more tense and louder, so it shows the audience that something's going to happen.
Yeah,
it building up an atmosphere.
Yeah. And also we used a variety of like different angled shots of Lizzie. So we used a mid shot from like the back, and it kind of, as she's got the hood up, it again suggests that she's not as innocent as she was before. And as you can see here, like the shot of her as she looks like quite pale, and it's quite a low angle shot as well, and it just kind of gives that overall like ghostly, kind of possessed feel to it. And again here there's another different angled long shot, and this vertical pan of Lizzie's face at the end, you can see like it ends with the close-up of her, and this close-up contrasts the close-up at the beginning where she was looking like really nervous and worried, but here she looks quite threatening and evil, and because of like the use of the black blood. And again, like compared to our prelim, this is like we had no
sense of danger.
There's no change or danger at all. And that's the end of our final cut.